Okay, in this assignment, we will be finding wavelength, frequency, and speed of a wave. Equation which you will be using V equal to frequency multiplied by lambda. Lambda is wavelength. So for the first one, a wave with a frequency of 120 hertz, wavelength of 1.5 meter. Find the speed. According to our formula up here, you would write V. V is the speed, velocity, equal to frequency. Frequency is 120. 120 multiplied by 1.5 meter, which will give you 180. Velocity is measured in meter per second. Okay, next we have a frequency of 540 and a speed of 30 meter per second. What we look for is the wavelength. From the equation above, V equal to frequency multiplied by wavelength. To find wavelength, we isolate the F. Right? So V divided by frequency will give us wavelength. Velocity, we know it's 30. Okay? 30 divided by 540. Okay, this will give you 0.05. And this will be in meter, since that's the unit for velocity. Next one, we have the wavelength of a quarter meter, and speed of 36 meter per second. We're looking for frequency. To isolate the F by itself, we divide by the wavelength. Okay, so the wavelength, velocity over wavelength, equal to 36 divided by 0.25. So in this case, 0.25 is equal to 1/4. And if we divide something by a fraction, 36, we can just, it's equal to 36 multiplied by the reciprocal of 1/4, which is 4 over 1. So division, multiplication, and flip. So this one will give you 144. What's the unit for frequency? Hertz, right? Just like the problem above. And we just walked through 3 problems finding different missing variable. This one we looked at velocity. This one we looked at the wavelength, and this one we look at the. And let's go to the last one. Okay, on the last page is fairly similar. Frequency is how often something occurs. So in this case, 400 times in 30 seconds. So frequency will be equal to 400 per certain amount of time, which is 30 in this case. And that will give you 13.3 repeating. So you have units. Units is very important. Let's move on to the last one. This one is given as a extra credit problem. We know that this one is looking for period. For frequency is equal to 1 over period, capital T. Or we can write it as T equal to 1 over frequency. So if we can somehow manage to find frequency, we will be able to find period. So frequency is the number of cycle per unit of time. The units of time has to be in second. Okay, so 1 minute will give you 60 seconds. 300 over 6 is 5 hertz. Okay, and 5 hertz, this is frequency. All we need to do is plug it in to our equation. So period in this case will be 1 over 5, which equal to 0.2. And that's it.